At this point, I'm starting to think that Invincible just likes playing with our emotions, because the amount of cliffhangers, twists and turns, fake outs is starting to get ridiculous. Every week I keep saying, yeah, that's probably the most traumatizing thing I've seen, and then they just say, want to see me do it again? I'm gonna need them to start paying for my therapy bills. Wait a minute, they're playing with my money? They are playing with my emotions. You already know the drill. Episode 6, recap and review time. Quick spoiler warning, if you don't want to be spoiled, make sure you drop a like, follow, but come back later because I need to hear your thoughts. Pick up this episode with that motherfucker Rex actually getting shot. I was just sitting there like, then we pick back up on the hey, Invincible and Immortal take Rudy's device, and they're able to stop the Sequids, but not before Adam, Eve, and Rudy get taken over too. So I was like, what? But then they just grab him and use the device on them again. I was like, oh, okay, they faked me out. But then we pick back up with Rex, who really got that dog in him. When he got up, I was like, is he a zombie? Not gonna lie to you, Rex might be him. When this man started to beat the dog shit out of the Lizard King, using the stump and protruding bones from his fucking missing hand is crazy. Oh yeah, and Shrinking Ray is fine? Another fucking fake out. As the Guardian space crew's about to dip, the Martians say, hey, we need that traitor. Give him that lick back plus. And then we just cut to them escaping. Shit was funny. I also like this moment between Eve and Mark. We need that to happen, please. Back on Earth, Cecil's still trying to convince Debbie that they can take care of the little guy. But she's like, nah, I'm doing this. And then we get that moment where all the Guardians see Rex, Shrinking Ray, and what's left of Kate. My bad. It was kind of sad. My man Immortal was in shambles at Duplicate's funeral. Amber and Mark have a really awkward rekindling. Like, you can just tell they're growing apart. And I'm gonna be honest, the audience has seen this coming. They got Rick back to being a full human, at least for now. And I really like this conversation that Rex and Mark have. Rex's character development is going crazy. And so is his right eye. Debbie finds a babysitter that she can kind of trust, even though it's from Cecil. And speaking of Cecil, he tries to go recruit Eve to join the Guardians. Crazy backshot. But she's still trying to figure things out, but she said if they ever need help, she'll do it. Which is when out of nowhere, Amber shows up to Eve's place, while Mark goes to see Art and talk about Amber. And I like the cutting back and forth between both of these conversations. It ends with Eve and Art speaking that real. The biggest question is, why are you here talking to me when you should be talking to her/him? Communication is key. But it turns out Art has Omni-Man's books, and he gives them to Mark, who then begins reading through them and realizes something. Cecil tries to cheer up the Immortal, which is when someone enters the upper atmosphere of Earth. And Immortal's like, I need to go blow some steam off, I'm there. But it's just juiced up Alan looking for Mark. Him and Immortal get into a little fight before Mark shows up and cools everything down. Meanwhile, Amber's at a party and is about to text Mark that she misses him, but she deletes it. And she's a wallflower just like me. Alan tells Mark why he's here. The entire story with Datus being a Viltrumite, now he needs Mark's help. But then Mark shows Alan the books too, and they realize that these are all real stories and it's the key to defeating the Viltrumites. We then cut to a Viltrumite prison. Side note, this design is kind of tough, where they're holding Nolan, and they're like, damn, this is what Earth did to you. This is what some let me stop. And it's weird seeing Nolan not fight back, but he's coming. Hey, yo. And the episode ends with, of course, the real Russ Livingston returning back to his apartment and puking up a Sequid. And the Sequids are saying, I think we ain't done yet. Crazy cliffhanger, but we're not done, because Angstrom Levy makes his return. How is the Taylor like not freaked out at this man's design? He travels through a bunch of different dimensions. One is a zombie one, which I thought was pretty cool, until he finally ends up in Invincible's universe. And it's go time, showtime next week.